Yes.
You need something, my friend?
So I think that completes our errands for today. So let's say goodbye to Mr. Peter van Wecker and
Hoog, 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 ja hoog. De ballaste die is droog.
yes. So as I
You,
was
sir,
trying to
are
say,
very lucky to be here. We
let's
are the best.
let's let's head back to the seahorse and
Hoog, 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 ja hoog. De ballaste die
let's
is
just run out of here, shall
droog.
we? So as I was saying, where are you? There you are. So as I was trying to say inside there, we have completed our errands for this day, so let's return to the ship and call it an evening, shall we? Let's go. Ah, there she is. Our lovely ship. The seahorse. Ah, finally here we are. Back in the captain's cabin. And what a fine Saturday evening it is. I'm so looking forward to putting out my sleeping blanket and pillow and call it an early evening. You two don't seem equally enthusiastic. Why are you just staring there into the corner, Oliver? And you, Camilla Paul? What is that? You want to go into the tavern this evening? Into the tavern of Philisburg? Okay, but you also want to go to the tavern? Well, I suppose if you both insist, you do wish to go. Okay, well, I guess we'll go to the tavern this evening. So let's go. And what a nice evening it is in this fine Philisburg town. Let's see if we can find our way to the tavern.
How charming!
Ah, here it is, the Philisburg Tavern. Let's go in. Perhaps they have something to drink in this fine establishment. Let's talk to Marcus Mars.
Cheers to the captain! Hurrah!
Hurrah! Well, welcome in, Chad. What do you want? Well, I was hoping to get some beer, but it looks like I don't have any business with you right now. Goodbye. So, he seems to be out of beer or ale or anything at the moment.
Aye, governor.
Still
Come
sure
have a
want
wee
to,
bit of the old Dom Thumb, eh?
want to be here. What is that? You want to hear a story? Now?
Have a pint
Here?
with me, old salt.
Well, have a fireplace and all, I suppose.
Aye,
Tell a
governor.
story. What
Come
kind of
have a
story
wee
do you
bit of
want to
the old
hear?
Dom Thumb, eh?
What is that? Treasure Island? You want to hit Treasure Island? Yes. Well, you don't know it hasn't been written
Fish
yet.
or
It
clam?
won't be written until at least 100 years into the future. Well, what would you say? It's
Aye,
hasn't been
governor.
written yet,
Come
but
have
it's
a wee
set
bit of the old Dom
in
Thumb,
around this
eh?
time, so it doesn't matter. I don't think that's how it works, but
Have a pint with me, old salt.
never mind. Well, so I happen to have a copy of Treasure
Drink
Island
up,
on me,
laddie.
just by coincidence.
Begging
So
your pardon,
perhaps
sir.
it's not such a bad idea. I could read part of the book for you too, if you so insist. So,
Know the secret to a good spot of grog?
let's
Up in
see,
some gunpowder!
see what we can't do here.
Have a pint with me, old soul.
Begging your pardon, sir.
So, let's see now. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Illustrated by Louis
Yes,
Reed.
what can I do for you?
Aye, governor. Come to have a wee bit of the old Tom Thumb, eh?
So, Treasure Island. 2SLO.
Aye, governor. Come to have a wee bit of the old Tom Thumb, eh?
2SLO. An American gentleman in accordance
Fish or clam?
with whose classic taste the following narrative has been designed.
Governor?
It is now in return for numerous delightful hours and with the
Begging your
kindest
pardon,
wishes dedicated by his
Have
affectionate
a
friend,
pint with me, old soul.
the author. To the hesitating purchaser, if sailor tales to sailor tunes, storm and adventure,
Aye, governor. Come to have a wee
Heat
bit of the
and
old Tom
cold.
Thumb, eh?
if schooners, islands and maroons, and buccaneers and buried gold, and all the
yes,
old
what can I do
romance
for you?
retold exactly in the ancient way,
Drink up, laddie.
can please as me they pleased of old, the wiser youngsters of today. So be it and fall on.
Fish or clam?
If not, if studious youth no longer crave these ancient appetites forgot, Kingston or Ballantyne the brave,
Fish or clam?
or Cooper of the wood and wave, so be it also, and may I and all my pirates share the grave where
Have a
these
pint with me, old soul.
and their creations lie. Treasure Island, Part 1, The Old Buccaneer. The Old Sea Dog at Red Admiral Benbow. Quiet Trelawney, Dr. Livesey, and the rest of these gentlemen having asked me to write down the whole particulars about Treasure Island, from the beginning to the end, keeping nothing back but the bearings of the island, and that only because there is still treasure not yet lifted, I take up my pen in the year of grace 17, and go back to the time when my father kept Admiral Benbow in, and the brown old seaman with a sabre cut first took up his lodging under our roof. I remember him as it were yesterday. As he came plodding to the inn door, his sea chest following behind him in a hand barrow, a tall, strong, heavy, nut-brown man, his tarry pigtail falling over the shoulder of his soiled blue coat, his hands ragged and scarred, with black broken nails, and the sabre cut across one cheek a dirty, livid white. I remember him looking around the cow and whistling to himself as he did so, and then breaking out in that old sea song that he sang so often afterwards. 50 men on the dead man's chest, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum. In the high, old tottering voice that seemed to have been tuned and broken at the capstan bass. Then he rapped on the door with a bit of stick like a handspike that he carried, and when my father appeared, called roughly for a glass of rum. This, when it was brought to him, he drank slowly, like a connoisseur, lingering on the taste and still looking about him at the cliffs and up at our signboard. "This is a handy cove," says he at length, "and a pleasant situated grog shop. Much company, mate?" My father told him no, very little company, the more was the pity. "Well then," says he, "this is the berth for me. Here you matey," he cried to the man who trundled the barrow. "Bring up alongside and help up my chest. I'll stay here a bit," he continued. "I'm a plain man. Rum and bacon and eggs is what I want. And that head up there for to watch ships off."
Always happy to help a mate on
"You might call me, captain." Oh, I see what you're at. There." And he threw down 3 or 4 gold pieces on the threshold. "You can tell me when I work through that," says he, looking as fierce as a commander. And indeed, bad as his clothes were, and coarsely as he spoke, he had none of the appearance of a man who sailed before the mast, but seemed like a mate or skipper accustomed to be obeyed or to strike. The man who came with the barrow told us the mail had set him down the morning before at Royal George, and that he had inquired what inns there were along the coast, and hearing us well spoken of, I suppose, and described it as lonely, had chosen it from the others for his place of residence. And that was all we could learn of our guest. So,
You'll need something, my friend?
I think we'll perhaps end it there. It's getting to be a little bit noisy here, so perhaps it's better to continue.
Aye, Governor. Come have a wee bit of the old dog
Spare a
thumb, aye?
moment, kind sir.
Yes, as I was trying to say, it's gotten a little bit
Yes, what
noisy
can I
here.
do for you?
So perhaps we'll continue
Know
this.
the secret to a good spot of grog? A pinch of gunpowder!
Continue this conversation or this story at another time.
Aye, governor.
And but you two just stay here and have fun, and I'll go to
Fish or
retire.
clam?
I'll go to retire for the evening, and I'll see you two in the morning. So,
Fish or
goodbye.
clam?
Well, hello there.
Aye, governor.
Maybe you need an officer, Captain. An officer. And what can you do? Well, people say I'm a good master at arms. I'm
You
a
should
ship
cut
captain
down
when you
on
see
the
yourself. Good day, how good. So, Leah Boysman Vixen. So, sure.
Hello, Captain.
Hello. Impressed, aren't you? Yes, perhaps. How much do you want? I think we'll agree on 157 gold. I agree. Consider yourself hired. Thank you, Captain. You won't regret your gold when you see me in action. I certainly hope so.
Hello, Captain.
So, at your service, Captain Hawk. Any orders? No?
Begging your pardon,
Stand
sir.
at ease. So, this wasn't really, my plan, but you perhaps can stay here along with these two and get to know each other better, and I'll just retire and have a good night's sleep. So, good night.